going on, everybody? Welcome to Golden Dice Podcast. We're here with a live gameplay video from Jack's basement. On the right, we've got Grievous and his droids, 2 commandos and a Sentinel messenger. On the left, we have a Spice in Sebulba, Elite Sebulba, Single Eye Rivals Anakin, and a Enfys Nest Marauders. Brian comes out, hits the 2-for-1. Sentinel hits the blank. With our setup, we couldn't do the hand cams this time. There was enough space because we were a little adjusted. Got up to 6 people this week, which is exciting for us. Maybe small for others, but exciting for us.
What's up, Matt? I will. Yo, Hunty. Hey, Hunter.
Sebulba comes in.
Sebulba.
Looks like a 2 range and a disrupt.
I will Forsaken. Sure. Your 2 range? Yep. Works for me. Let's see. Oh, it's my turn. I guess no, you Forsaken. Oh, you're right. Yeah. I get all confused there. No worries. Yes. Let's play. I'll play Anakin's pod racer. And then my ambush action.
So I guess that's his hero card with Enfys is Annie's pod. Ambush action activates, comes in hot with a blank. Brian's off to a great start and gets double Forsaken round 1. Looking real good. And hits the 2-for-1 on the Marauder, which after you resolve a pay side, deals an indirect to the opponent. 2 indirect comes in on the 1 commander droid, lets him activate the other, and he hits a blank on that.
You don't have any resources. You do. Oh, I never took them. Yeah. I should have resources. So I will
Resource and a blank. Brian discards an EMP, which is obviously really good against this deck. Dumps it right onto the Marauder.
I'll take the resource. Going to power action Grievous. There's old droid dice.
Focus and a resource.
2 to Grievous and then 1 indirect. 2 to Grievous from the and then 1 indirect. Anytime I resolve this die that has a resource cost, I can do an indirect damage.
Yeah, my buddy Mike made this new tray. It's got a little like area for putting things in on the side, as you can see up top. We put all our tokens in there. So Mike comes in with the logistics,
I don't know what you're talking about.
which is really good for him. One of the best win cons of this deck is Defoliator Tank. So you can still focus to the resource and play it. The only downside is that he can't focus to the special.
Take a resource, play my defoliator.
Yep. So the special is 3 damage to each non-droid or General Grievous. So Brian's going to take 3. Oh, and hits the natural special. So Brian is on the back foot. Pod racing is off to a slow start, but Sebulba did blow a 3-1 lead. So maybe there's hope with Annie's pod out there.
Yeah, I know, right? That's hilarious, isn't it?
I can hear the salt through his... That's hilarious, isn't it?
At least I got Anakin's pod out.
That's right, Brian. At least you do. Ooh, Mike's a token flipper on the right. I'm going to have to yell at him next time. Two for one.
Yeah.
Mike throwing down the tech team. It's a tough one on round 2, but if he's got stuff to make it work, this is probably going around 30, so. And he comes in with a resource.
Where's my crash cam?
Go ahead and activate the
This is
droid.
a Bobo setup, Jack.
Droids are coming in. It was a one-ranged. And he hit a resource on the other one, and the Sentinel Master gets coming because it is also a droid and hits the focus. Will he play that event? He will not. So Brian wants something. It could be a eSebulba's pod, could be a regular pod. I know he was going for the combat droid, I believe. Whatever that 3 costs from Allies of Necessity was. And that obviously is good with eSebulba. Yep, there it comes, because the special is similar to Force Storm in that you place a resource on it and deal that amount of damage. And so eSebulba special can put a resource on a card, so it can obviously ramp pretty quick if he rolls specials.
Just do how many resources? Or
Yeah, place a resource on the sport, then deal damage to a character equals the number of sports, or number of resources on the sport.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I'm gonna pay 1.
And it does have 2 special sides, I believe, but one of them is paid. Mike comes down with the targeting astromech, which is a really good call. Making sure he gets off that special on the defoliator, but I believe Brian does have an EMP in his hand still. Fickle Mercenary comes down. So it does look pretty rough for Brian, but if he can get some damage out of the Fickle, if he can ramp up the combat droid and maybe take some shields with Annie's pod, I think he could be in an okay spot. Double focus with Grievous comes in.
Pass.
3 range comes in, but Brian should have an EMP still.
Can I see the card on that?
The astromech?
The tank.
Oh yeah.
Itself.
Oh, it looks like he's got hit emotive and he's trying to figure out what to call.
I'm going to
I think you call.
remove it.
No.
Vehicle
Yeah,
die.
okay.
If it was a vehicle or artillery.
Looks like he accidentally readied it when you put it back. But yeah, EMP is pretty much a backbreaker versus Mike because it removes pretty much any one of his important dice. Can break up modifier chains on the Commando droids. His defoliator tank is by far and away the best thing in his deck, and that is a vehicle, as we can tell.
Oh right. Yeah.
I was gonna say I can't deal with that again. Rough time over here. Hey Matt,
I'm just going
did you bring Raylo tonight?
focus, double focus to resource and a resource.
So Mike is going for the ramp here.
Story of my life.
Which he could play a defoliator here if Brian cannot stop this, because he does have the tech team in play. But Mike can also just come in and steal that Fickle. Looks like a disrupt and 2 indirect, but Mike takes the 2 resources. I think Brian's probably okay with the disrupt.
Ooh, that's very
I don't
fickle.
remember asking you a thing, Matthew.
Yeah, I could buy it back, but
That's why I.
Looks like it came in on a 2 ranged.
trying to get me to waste my resources.
The lighting in here is rough.
It's not really a waste, but
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think it's a waste at all.
well, I'll just pay 1 for automated defense. And,
That works.
or should I do that? Yeah. Just
Roll the pod racer.
I think Mike will take that.
Can
Or Brian will take that. I think there's 2 cards in Mike's hand.
So that's 2 discard technically. If I want to do it that way.
Right. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh,
I rolled it out. It's your turn.
Oh, what?
It's not an ambush after I. Yeah, it's an ambush last
That's
turn.
a vehicle. But I will. I'm just gonna EMP that.
Sure. Alright. Off the LR.
Ooh, what's that special?
And there's a special.
Place a resource on the
that's the
support and then deal damage to character equal to the number of resources.
I'm gonna pay 1 for riot shield.
Sure.
Grievous. No cards left.
I'm gonna pitch to
Yeah, Brian's hoping to get another special off on Sebulba.
Yep. I don't have any
I get a
resources.
resource.
Or yeah, you can get a resource.
Choose either lose 1 resource or have you gain 1 resource by a pod race.
Yeah, I think Mike just takes the resource.
So I'm going to pitch.
Wait, so you get to choose to either lose a resource or have me gain a resource?
Yeah. So you don't have a pod racer, so it's not. You don't quite get to do both.
Okay.
But you can choose. So I'm gonna pitch to reroll.
And Sebulba is still not cooperating with Brian, so.
And then I will resolve this special to place.
But for the Moss Espa Arena, just so you know, the question there was exactly what it does, and the claim is force an opponent to choose to either lose a resource or have you gain 1 resource. Spot a pod racer to force them to do both instead. So in reality, Brian probably should have made him lose a resource because he didn't have any. It seemed like Mike got one. Probably a little confusion on a card that hasn't been played since it came out.
And he cut.
Oh, so my turn. Alright, okay. I will probe you.
Sure.
Probe hits the pod racer bedding and an armor plating. Pod racer bedding, I believe, is spend a resource, call the side. And it's like if its value's equal to what you called, you gain a resource, 2 resources, or 3 if it's a pod racer. I choose a number, then reroll 1 of your vehicle dice. If that die just rolled a value equal to the number you chose, gain 2 or 3 instead if it's a pod racer die.
Alright. I'm gonna pod racer betting.
Oh, he's doing it.
So choose a number and then reroll 1 of your vehicle dice. If that die just roll a value equal to the number you chose, gain 2 resources or 3 resources.
He's explaining what I just explained, Brian. Couldn't you hear me, man? Come on.
Yay, I get 3 resources.
And now Brian's got all the money to do nothing with because I'm not sure what it is. Although it means he can keep Fickle for the whole game, probably.
Bubble shield.
For free. You have how many cards in hand?
2.
I'm gonna dump them both.
Boo! That's not really not good anyways. Whole breach of
Let's
the
open a
shackle.
dump a defoliator.
No, no. Activate the droids. Activate another droid.
2 in direct and a resource.
Messenger.
And a resource. And top card of the deck from Sentinel Messenger.
Top card.
Neutral then, yep. Okay.
And nothing. Seems Messenger
Marauder.
has not been working out for him.
Grievous.
1 range on Grievous and
Oh, my boy. My
Disrupt.
boy.
on the A300.
Sebulba, you suck.
Brian rolls a 2 in direct and disrupt. He's really hoping for that special. I think Sebulba's just mad that Brian didn't use the Sebulba mat and he's using his Vader mat.
I'll go ahead and disrupt you 1.
Okay.
Combat's rolling that special, though. If eSebulba would have helped out, it could be a little bit of a different game. But Mike still has that defoliator to come in, so it really depends if Brian has an answer to that or not. And Anakin hits the 2-for-1. Mike steals the Fickle, but Brian can really just steal it right back. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, Mike probably wants to hope or wait till Brian rolls it out so that way it's acts as removal. As of right now, Brian can still roll it out and activate him.
Wasn't really a waste you spent two.
Yeah, it works. I'm gonna pitch to reroll.
So I mean, now would be a good time to steal the Fickle, because then Brian cannot steal it back. So eSebulba with a blank, 2 indirect, I think, and 1 melee.
Yeah, I don't know. I have two of them. I have Annie's pot out right now.
Activate the defoliator.
Can I see the sides on that?
3 range side is coming in. Now Brian, I think Brian's got the hidden motive now.
Special.
Yeah, you got to call special
Special.
because it's the same sides on everything.
Oh.
And he hits it. Sorry, not same sides, but it's different on every side. So your chances are all the same, so might as well call the most threatening side, which of course is a special, which would be 9.
All right. Well, let me shoot the Marauder for 1.
Yes, sir. Hail Mary.
Brian not activating the Fickle is a little weird.
eSebulba, you are trash.
eSebulba coming in with 2 disrupt, it looks like. Shield on Marauder.
This is always good.
Oh, you didn't claim yet.
I did not claim yet. No.
My bad.
Oh, is it my turn?
It is your turn, yeah.
Oh, right.
I just figured since there's nothing left to do. My apologies.
Yeah, well, I can't do anything, so I'll just claim.
Ooh, Brian playing mind games with Mike, convincing him there's nothing left, even though there's a ready Fickle.
You can take my ring. No.
Or I choose.
Oh, force an
Opponent. That's why I was confused.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that means you choose
So I choose
whether
for
you
you.
lose one or I get one.
Right. So you can get one.
Okay.
And you don't have a pod racer, so the second part of that is moot. So I'll remove it.
All right.
I can get 2 myself. Do nothing with them. I'll take a shield. That's a 5 damage. I don't want that. Do that over here. I have to roll my Fickles. Do 1 to the messenger. And then do the special on the combat droid to do 3 more to the messenger. Yep. And then I'll pass.
Yep, so Fickle comes in, does the damage. Brian plays another resource. It's now up to 3 on there, and so that puts the messenger at 6. Mike's still in a pretty good spot, but his guys are squishy, and that's going to resolve for a 4.
We live in, boys.
Gonna attack the tech team.
I have to do the rest of it first.
1, 2, 3. Looks like a defoliator is coming down. Ooh, Commando droids is coming down. That is from the 2-player starter set.
eSebulba, roll a special.
Yeah, I think eSebulba hates specials, honestly, it seems like. If anybody's curious on the droid commando, it's a 2 range, 3 range, 3 for 1, 2 discard, special blank, and the specials deal 1 damage each to any number of characters. Looks like a 1, a +2, and a blank. And the modular frame comes down off of the Sentinel play. So I think Mike has lethal on the board for the Marauder. I think you just take him out. You overkill by 1. I mean, you could get greedy and put 3 into Anakin and hope to get a defoliator special or something like that, but that's not a life I think you really want to live right now.
Pay 1 for hull breach. Remove 1 of your dice showing damage. Either discard a support from play the cost of or less the value from that price. Or deal damage card. So I'm gonna use this to do the pod racer. Get rid of the pod racer.
Brian is in disbelief right now.
Oh no!
Absolute disbelief. Anakin has lost his pod racer.
No more betting. Bad.
My betting. You've curbed my gambling addiction.
It would have been funny if he blew up the combat droid. He would need a 3 damage side to get it, which only the Commando droids support.
I know, nothing to spend it on.
Or the defoliator could get that, and obviously you don't really want to use that on the defoliator. But Mike probably has some form of removal, and really you just want to hold that to for the combat droid. There's really nothing else that Brian can do that's going to be overall threatening. Even the fickle 3 for 1. Like, the combat droid would be 4 and then 5 next time. You can at least slow down its craziness.
Kill the Marauder. What is that? 2? 3.
Oh, yeah,
So that's overkill, but and then I could do this one too, right? To Anakin.
Yep. Yes, sir. So I will kill the messenger with my 3, and then that redeploys.
Yep, modular frame moves over to one of the Commando droids.
My turn, right? Pitch to reroll these.
Yep. So I can't use these anymore, so I might as well pitch. Buddy, killing me.
2 range and a blank. Brian's really just hoping for that special, but 2 range is still fine.
Probe you.
Oh, hitting him with a probe.
Nope. Nope.
Literally in the middle. I cannot tell what that is at all.
Oh my god.
So 5. So Anakin is goodbye here. So Sebulba gets a special. And if Brian's playing Sebulba always wins, he could just blow up the
Yes, you will.
defoliator tank if he wants, but it's in a weird spot where you need to catch up, and you're not going to catch up by stopping him.
I'm actually going to play a second one. And I'll place a resource on it.
With a droid.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll EMP here.
Sure. Yep.
EMPs flying across the board.
Roll this one.
Still very relevant. And the blank comes in.
Clean. So you can choose.
You can gain one. Pitch.
And the special comes in, so the special is going to be 3 damage.
I'll take a resource. Do the Sebulba special to put a token on your defoliator.
Oh, okay, alright, so he does have Sebulbas in his hand.
Say again? A resource on your defoliator tank.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll spend 2 to play Sebulba always wins to discard a support that has 1 or more tokens on it.
Oh.
You broke my toil breakers.
Yeah, so that probe was on lucky, but
Guess I can't do anything else, so I'll put it back.
And then this
so it looks like that was on the paid side of the
Sebulba just rolled for a special.
droid.
Do I keep the resource that was on it? No.
No, it goes away.
And then you're passing.
It's not bad. Yeah, I have nothing else to do.
What, Sebulba has 9 health?
special.
He's got 8 left.
Doesn't really have much use.
Well, the funny part is that Mike can just slam down a defoliator again. Losing the targeting astromech is definitely a pain.
Alright, I will do fresh supplies in the battlefield, get a resource.
I will roll out Swole.
Resource and disrupt, it's looking like. That Grievous dash should not be in the pool.
This. A 2 for the assassin droid.
That's a solid one. Disrupt and blank. 2 indirect. 2 indirect, and the assassin droid can come in as well behind that. He's going to ping a damage. And hits the ranged. So he needs to do 7. He's got 5 on the board. Fickle comes in. Hits 1 ranged. Mike can steal that, although he does have a pay side on the Commando, but doesn't care. That's looking like a 1 range, but I can't tell.
7. Right, yes, okay.
Grievous coming in with 2 indirect and a 2 range side, 1 range side, excuse me. So
6, 7, 8.
8 damage on the board, which is lethal. So that top one's been rolling specials all night.
Pay 1 to automate the
Nuts.
What would they do, 4 then? I mean, I think Mike just resolves and he wins.
I think I'm out of tricks.
That one's a little less. That'll be just 2 damage. It's looking like it's hard to tell with them stacked. Yep, Brian needs to stop both those dice.
And I'll do 2 to Grievous. Block it with the riot shield if you want to, but I'm dead anyway. It's okay.
Yep, so Mike takes it. Well done. Good games, gentlemen. And we'll catch you guys next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Golden Dice Podcast. Thanks for watching the stream or listening to the podcast, whatever it might have been. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, pretty much wherever you listen to your podcast, we are on there. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Game Shop of Destiny. You can head to their website and use the promo code Golden Dice for 10% off your single orders. You can also head over to Parker Simpson Artwork and check out all of the promos that he's created for the game. If there's a character in the game, he has a promo for it, so you can head over there and order a few things from him. And lastly, if you haven't, head over to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch and subscribe to us on all of those things. Leave reviews. That would be a big help to us as well. And from there, you can check out articles, our podcast, and also live gameplay that we do. And we'll catch you guys next time.